Justice for Hollie Greig! Justice for Hollie Greig! Bye-bye. God bless you, darling. God bless.
Bye, lovely. Hello, Anne. Look after you. Anyway, you'll sleep well tonight, won't you? Because that's over. That kangaroo court is over.
27th of March. Did everybody hear that? Robert Greene's birthday. Okay? And he's 66. Because he's the same age as me. We are 66.
Mark Windows, Land of the Free here, with Belinda Mackenzie outside the Royal Courts of Justice. Can you just give us a brief resume of what happened today, Belinda? And just can you run through the lead up to this and where it's going to go next?
Hollie, her mum, and indirectly Robert Greene are appealing against the decision of Shropshire County Council to initiate proceedings to take Hollie into care, on the grounds that globally, as a sort of global point, she is a vulnerable adult and she may not have capacity to litigate and to decide how she lives her life for herself. This obviously is strongly disputed by Hollie herself and Anne, but her voice is not yet heard in these proceedings. So there have been two rulings in 2010 and 2011 in the family court, which is a lower court to the appeal court today, in which the judges ruled, and first the judge in 2010 and then backed up by the judge in 2011, ruled that Hollie is a vulnerable adult, she may not have capacity, and therefore an interim care order needs placing. And this effectively changes the rule book in respect of handling her case.
Do you think this is going to stop her being able to be a witness?
Well, she's already under an injunction from the court. The first summer, the 2010, she was placed under an injunction not to associate publicly or to speak about, to campaign, to be with campaigners, to carry on speaking about what happened to her. Basically, she was gagged. And that's been reinforced. And so that all happened in the family court. And those hearings are in secret. Nobody can go in the family court hearings, and this is the problem. So there's no way that we could have a sort of public representation, showing our support for Hollie in the family court. So for that reason, this appeal was lodged in the Court of Appeal for permission to appeal against those judges' orders, so that Hollie, perhaps if she was lucky, might be able to, at last speak. But unfortunately, we didn't hear her today. It was mainly, the hearing was conducted by Hollie's counsel, Anne's counsel, who did really quite a reasonable going through of all the points against what the family court judge had ruled, and also indicating that there were no sort of extenuating circumstances here, not mentioning the campaign too much. But also that, saying that this campaign is going to go on, which was quite helpful of him, thank you very much. But then at the end of it all, the judge came back and summed up and gave his ruling that as the family court judges had inherent jurisdiction, which is a legal term, yes. And that means that they had an inherent sort of right or professional duty to rule as they did. If there was any question that there was a concern about a vulnerable person, therefore he would not overrule that. And also he had noted that when it came to actually producing expert witnesses who would speak on the point as to whether Hollie had capacity, they had not yet been produced. And the reason why they hadn't been produced was because there are almost no expert witnesses who are willing to take this case and to assess Hollie. 36 people had been contacted to ask them if they would produce an expert witness statement in respect of Hollie, and none of them had been willing to do so.
Do you think this is leading to a bit of a catch-22 situation now?
Yeah, well, basically, I mean, basically he sent it back to the lower court. Yeah. And he said what should be happening is that all these things that were requested by the family court that should be brought, these witness statements and, other bits and pieces, have not been produced. Therefore, it's too early to hear an appeal because the case hasn't yet been heard properly anyway. So she's got to have the whole thing looked at in more detail back in the family family court.
So this would work as a kind of stay of the proceedings for you to get everything together?
Yes, that's the sort of thing, you know, and so there is going to be another big hearing in the family court, but the problem is that she's already had the official solicitor appointed. She can't have her own legal representative, Hollie. This is Hollie.
Yeah.
And so already her rights have been taken away and her human rights have been...
Are you particularly worried about that?
I would be,
cautious.
except for the fact that I think they know that this case is being watched by thousands, if not millions, of people around the world by now. So they're very much in the public spotlight. We haven't got mainstream press and media coverage of it yet, but it's not far off.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's a bubble that's about to be burst.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And basically, we haven't heard Hollie's voice yet.
No.
See, this is conspicuously absent because Hollie would say, I don't want to go into care. I'm happier with my mother.
Exactly.
Now, one or
I mean,
two
that is the most-
good
one of the
points
most
came
frightening
out
things.
in the what the council said, that Hollie actually, when she's with her mother, is completely articulate and she can speak for herself. But take her away from her mother, and she sort of collapses.
Yeah.
So if you know, Hollie would be definitely not have capacity if she was removed from her mother.
It's the most monstrous.
And that's, of
thing
course,
I've
what they
heard
want to
today.
happen, of course,
Yes,
because
that
basically
they were
behind all of
trying
this is a desire to shut down Hollie and shut down this campaign.
That's what it looks like on the face of it. So you think there's a kind of politeness in the procedure which they're going to carry out, which is going to be the end result of what they wanted in the first
Yes,
place.
that's right, yes.
Yeah.
They set it up so that they get their end result and make it look good. All as their justice has been served and,
Yes.
you know, everything been listened to. I must say that coming here and seeing these hundreds of people, I think well over 100, probably going on for 200 people.
Is this the biggest turnout you've had so far?
Oh, yes, about 5 times as many as last time, and I hope we have 5 times as many next time. Let's stop the traffic next time.
Well, absolutely, that'd be a great idea.
We nearly did, actually, because there were people sort of going across the road and shouting. We had taxis and lorries and vans and things who were all hooting.
Do you think they knew about the case?
Hooting, yes, lots of people.
Yeah.
You know, they recognise the name, they recognise the campaign, the issue, so yeah, the public know.
So it's obviously spread out even more than we realised.
Yes.
And we'll do double and treble more today.
So onwards and upwards.
Thanks very much, Belinda.
Hollie is not going to be taken away from her mother or put anywhere she doesn't want to be.
Thanks very much, Belinda. Okay, thanks. That's Mark Windows, landofthefree.co.uk outside Royal Courts of Justice.